Welcome, everyone, to episode 330 of Just Joshing. I am your host, Joshua Pantelleresco. I write stuff and podcasts too. Today, Vanessa Cardui rejoins the podcast, and I know I probably butchered her name again. I'm sorry, Vanessa. In all seriousness, Vanessa is one of my favorite guests. It was pretty cool that as I got to wrap things up in Calgary, I got a chance to talk to her one more time for the podcast. She's very gracious to be a part of the show. So, Vanessa, from me to you, you're always welcome, and I'm rooting for you in whatever you do. Thank you very much. So apparently, I got myself a new place. I'm moving next weekend. The long story short is, I went to bed Friday with the desire that by the end of this weekend I would get a place, and I'd be ready to move out by March. It took me 3 hours. It was actually pretty incredible, actually, that it just worked out the way it did. It was just one thing led to another, led to another, led to another. It's still going to be a room. It's a little more expensive than what I'm paying right now, but not by much. In a neighborhood, I actually, when I was visiting Calgary for the Creative Ink Conference, it's a neighborhood I actually know quite well. It's actually legitimately along the way to the conference. So I'm actually going to be closer to it than I ever was. Yeah, it's funny how things turn out sometimes. I just basically, I realized that sometimes if you just got that, first off, thank God that it was just real quick, really to the point. But I just realized, like, I'm not going to let anything get in the way of what I came here to do. And I made myself a promise. I would buy in, I'd give it everything I had, and that's what I did. So, without further ado, let's go talk to Vanessa, shall we?
This episode of Just Joshing is sponsored by Indie Imprint. Indie Imprint supports creators by creators. Whether you are writing a book or creating a video game, Indie Imprint works with its clients to produce, edit, and present their projects to the world. For more information, check out their website at www.indieimprint.com.
So, the recorder is finally on. Are you ready?
I was born ready.
You were born ready.
Yes.
Awesome. So this is Vanessa, I always get this right, Cardui?
Yes.
Yes, I got it right. Yay. And it's been a long time since you've been on the show.
It has. I think the last one, it was a special episode that we did at Owl's Nest Books, wasn't it?
No, you did one more after that,
Really?
when Patience was released.
That's right, we did. How many times have I been on Just Joshing?
This is okay, so just you? 4.
And plus that...
Yeah, just you, just 4. This is 5th, but of course, it's been nearly 200 episodes. Actually, probably when this airs, there will be over 200 episodes since the last time we've been on.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
That is a long time.
Yes. So, how's life?
Life is good. This has been a really crazy year for me. And I got married this year.
Yes.
Had just a beautiful wedding that my husband is from India, and so we had a ceremony that combined elements of a Hindu wedding with a typical Western church wedding. One of our friends said the ceremony elements were shuffled together like a deck of cards, and I wore a red and gold sari, and I have never been more beautiful than I was on that day. And I wrote a piece of music that was performed by 5 singers for the recessional. So that was really exciting too. I've got it on video.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Also, you got your first Aurora nomination this year.
Yes, I did.
Yes. You gonna be going to Ottawa?
I wish.
Yeah.
I wish, but no, I'll just have to wait for the results.
Okay. It was cool. It was a cool experience for me last time when I went. The only thing you're gonna miss, you're gonna find somebody that you know that's been pinned to pin you. The Aurora pin. So it's kind of one of the little things is if you've been an Aurora nominee in the past, you get a pin. You only get that once. You can actually get more trophies than you can get pins. So
Right.
Yeah, right.
So because it's for the first time.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm hoping that somebody will accept the pin on my behalf.
Yes. I could do that. I don't know.
You are going?
I am going.
Nobody has said anything to me about it. So.
Well, no, I'm just. I can do. I can. So just on a download. Just if you want, do you have Clifford Samuels' email?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I got an email from him recently, a mass email that went out.
Yeah, you just let him know what your arrangements are. Just let him know what your arrangements are, and he'll do it for you. So if you decide I'm the one that's going to take your pen, you let him know I'm going to take your pen for you, and then I'll meet you somewhere when I come back, and I'll give it to you.
That would be amazing.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. And vice versa. I also talk to them about award and just if you do win, what you want done with it, that kind of deal. So
Okay.
yeah. You can, that's what you do in those situations. I just went because it was fun. I met Spider Robinson, which also was super fun. And like I said, I've had a crazy year too. So, and I'm about to go on to go. Actually, we both are undergoing brand new chapters.
Yes, we are.
Yes, you are. So, what's being married like?
That's what we're going to talk about?
Oh, we can start there. We can go wherever we want.
No, I'm relieved. I've spent a lot of energy worrying that I would never find my person. And now we're together, and it's just a huge relief. And I've finally come home.
Peaceful?
Yes.
So yeah. So I'm going to go down this road a little bit. So when did you two actually meet?
We met at the Canada 150 fireworks.
Okay.
So, and we didn't see each other again after that for a year and a half. But initially, that's where we met. And I gave him my card to check out my music, which is how he knew who I was. And we found each other on an online dating site last late October. So it's been almost a year since we met for real.
Yeah.
Yes,
For real.
our first date in early November.
So this went quickly then.
It did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it went quickly. So just felt right.
Was right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's good. Happy for you.
Yeah, it's a completely different kind of marriage than I ever saw myself in. There is a big element of combining cultures because he loves being in Canada. He's very committed to becoming a Canadian citizen and participating fully in life here. But he comes from India. He comes from a very different kind of world, and I grew up with a lot of Indian culture in my house when I was a kid. My parents were both following Hinduism when I was little, and we had a lot of Indian friends. We were in Toronto, so it's not entirely new to me. But having married into an Indian family, things are very different than what my life has ever been like. It's very much changed, and I'm learning a new language.
Cool.
Yeah.
Hindi?
Gujarati.
Yeah.
They speak Hindi too because that's the national language of India. I might learn Hindi at some point, but I'm more interested in learning their native language.
Okay.
I'm not learning it to travel. I'm just learning it to speak to my in-laws.
Yeah. Well, it's good because this way when you can have if you want to have discussions and nobody else wants to do, you just go into another language. My dad and my grandmother still talk in Maltese. Now, Dad will go in English. Nana will go in Maltese. But every once in a while, he'll go back and forth to her in Maltese too. And I'm like, the one thing I've learned, the only thing I know for sure is I can tell when both of them are swearing.
Yeah, I learned how to swear very early on in Gujarati.
It's true. Like, usually the first things you learn in a language is how to swear. I find it's actually for people teaching, it's fun. It's very, very fun to do that.
Yes.
Right. But also it's universal. There is something about that language, just learning how to curse. You learn a lot about what a culture values based on that.
Oh yes, depending on what the curses actually translate to.
Yes.
Certainly, yes.
Yes.
Yeah, I always find that very interesting.
Yeah. But speaking of language, you're doing a show tonight.
Yes, I am.
Yeah.
Blind Beggar Pub as part of their original music showcase.
So basically, this is just. Are you coming out? Are you going to do anything new tonight?
Brand new? No, I'm not premiering anything tonight, but I'm pulling out some things I don't do that often, and one of my newer ones. And when I say newer, I mean in the past couple of years, really, because my really, truly recent stuff is choral music, so I can't do that at an original music showcase where it's just me and my guitar. But you know my song Joe, which I wrote for Laxa Media.
Yes.
And which will be published in the next offering from Laxa Media, which is Seasons in Us. And the song is entitled Joe, which has a printed form that will be appearing in the book. And it's about my grandfather.
It's my favorite song of yours, actually.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites too.
Yeah.
So, yes, spoiler alert, I'm playing Joe today.
Yes. Which is cool because that was really, like, for me, I could feel your emotion entirely in that song. It got to the end and it's like, okay, this is a woman very proud of her family, and it's great because you tell her this amazing story about what he went through to survive, and it's an incredible story in and of itself. In fact, that he survived and that you exist, and it's an amazing song. It really, really is.
Well, and I played that song for Raja when we first started dating, and he was very moved by it because it's a story of coming to Canada for a different kind of life, and he has come to Canada for a different kind of life. So he identified with the song in a very deep way. So that was a good experience for us, good connection for us early on.
Yeah, that's good. Because I've been through my own share of hardships. I understand, like, the fact that you come out of it on the other side. Like, I'm not going to say we're near as hard as what he went through, but I know it's like when the chips are all down and you don't know what's coming next, and somehow you're still here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right. I wrote the song based on his autobiography, which he wrote for his children and grandchildren. It's called I Made It. And he made it through a lot. And every time he got out of another scrape, it says I made it in big, bold letters.
Well, yeah. I mean, really, what else can be said? I mean, that's what matters. As I've gotten older / wiser, we'll leave the wiser.
Let's hope.
I don't know. We try sometimes. Sometimes we succeed, sometimes we fail. But what I've learned is that, the big results, like how far you rise, whatever, doesn't really matter. What really matters is, are you waking up the next morning? Did you go through whatever experiences you go through? Did you make it? Did you learn something? Did you become better? Something the fact that you're still here and able to do something again. That's very important.
That's the first priority. And there are times when that's all you can manage. Mm-hmm. And if you can manage that much, that's enough, because then you have a chance to do more the next day.
One of my favorite Nietzsche quotes: "Where there's life, there's hope." That's right.
Where there's life, there's hope.
Yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites of him. But so you're going to do that.
I love Nietzsche.
Yeah. He's an interesting read. He gets very oddly romantic, and I think that's one of the things about him. He's a man that cared very, very much, and I found was by and large, I think, disappointed with how things went around, and just when you get to his later books, it's kind of how I feel about him. But he definitely was an interesting thinker, definitely different than the normal.
Yes.
Yeah. But anyway, let's think here. Beyond that, so you've been doing other things beyond
Good and Evil?
Yes. Well, I don't know, actually. Whatever you've been up to, you've been up to. That's it. I mean, listen, as long as you got a good alibi and it's nobody I know, I don't judge. I really don't.
Yeah, it's good to be married. I appreciate spousal privilege.
Yes. But what I was going to say is you've been doing a lot of other things beyond music as well. You've gone back to school.
Yes. Yeah, certainly. I mean, I've been doing a lot of different things in an attempt to revitalize my life. And my music has taken a different turn since I started going back to school. So I'm now studying to be a legal assistant. I'm interested in working in family law. or possibly working for Canada's justice system directly. We'll see, but I've always had a deep and abiding interest in justice and the legal system. So I'm really appreciative. Oh, thank you. Yes, I love wearing this hat. I'm wearing my resplendent tricorn hat.
Yes, that's right. Vanessa is always will be a pirate.
Always. So yes, so my interest in law is giving me a chance to now learn new things and use different parts of my brain than I used to. And I found that my obsessive attention to detail, which has often been a hindrance to me, even in my creative life, I create, these shining, flawless recordings that take me many years to make because I drive myself crazy, but that same attention to detail is going to translate into excellence in the workforce when I become a legal assistant. But point is, getting started with a new career has changed the way I sing. It's changed the way I play. I'm no longer worried about, I'm not hanging all my hopes on being able to generate income from my music, and it has been very good for my music that I've let that part go. I've been composing choral music in honor of the Olympian gods, so that's really fabulous. I got a chance to perform some of it at PanFest recently, up near Edmonton, with 3 wonderful backup singers. And so, yeah, I'm doing some different things musically.
Yeah.
Oh, and I'm taking lute lessons. Tuesday mornings. So, yeah, I need some balance. I need to keep music in my calendar to keep me sane while I, pore over pleadings and affidavits and whatnot.
And also, every time I've talked to you, right? So at some point in our conversations, you start singing. It's always been it's a big part of what you do.
That's how I talk.
Yes, not just how you talk. It's just I don't even think you fully realize you're doing it anymore.
Not always.
No, it's just one of those it's just part of who you are. And
that's true.
Yeah. So, I don't see you ever not doing music.
No, I can't not.
Yeah. So.
That's never been a worry.
No. So does that mean? So I'm sure you're gonna make albums again down the road. Are they going to be different? Like are they going to be going kind of along the path you've been on currently, or are you going to reinvent yourself?
In all likelihood, but you know what? I've reinvented myself with every album already. So the more that won't be anything new. The fact that everyone is new is nothing new. But my next album is going to be in collaboration with Laxam Media. So my songs that I've written to accompany their volumes of speculative fiction on mental health themes are going into an album. I don't have a projected release date on that, but that is what's next. So I'm very excited about that because the creativity that mission, the mission of creating work along these huge human themes, has brought out some of my best work ever, and that's what my Aurora nomination is for. The first song that I did for them, which is called How My Life Will End, which was then published in written form in the third book, Shades Within Us. And so I'm waiting to see whether I win an Aurora for that, which is incredible because I never anticipated being nominated for an Aurora. I'm not a science fiction writer. I just happened to write something that ended up being eligible, and I'm immensely honored that my community, my community of wonderful geeks is responding to my work this way.
Well, it kind of happened to me that way too. One day I woke up, I get an email, and it's like, hey, Aurora, wait, what? What did I do? Didn't publish anything. Oh, it's my pocket, really? Right? It's like, but
yeah,
that's
good for you. I remember when that happened. I remember how it changed you.
I took advantage of the opportunities it provided for me. I find so when I won the Aurora, I asked myself 2 questions. How did I do it? Right, and not in like a joking way either, a very serious way. What got me here? And then the second question I asked, it's a two-part question. What am I doing that could get in the way of this coming back again? Mm-hmm. Or what do I do so well that my mistakes can be ignored? Mm-hmm. Seeing success is great, but I find with a lot of people, I've seen this with people that have won the awards. I've seen it with other people as well. Some people take success and turn it into opportunities for themselves.
Yes.
Some people freeze at success, and that's as far as they go.
Yes.
Personally, I want more success. So my approach with this has been, what can I do with this now that I've done this? And I've been taking that approach with everything I've been doing since. In your case, I mean, who knows? Like maybe like I know for example that Dot Books is going to be in Ottawa. I'm going to introduce myself to Dot Books while I'm there, even though I'm not nominated for writing at this time. You just get to know them, get out there, like take advantage of the opportunities that are there. Whether I win again or not, honestly, at this point, I feel like I've done what I want to do. If I win again, great. But if somebody else wins that in that category and gets to do what I've done with it, that'd be awesome too. I would love that.
That's the right attitude.
Yeah, I would love that. So I know what that feels like. So what I kind of want to get to with this is failure is a common thing. Success isn't as common a thing, right?
Sorry.
It sounds fun.
Truer words were never spoken.
Yeah, but I find. I guess what I'm trying to get to is, even if you do not win, I mean, right? The fact that you were nominated is a great accomplishment. Is a great accomplishment.
Oh, I'm not expecting to win.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, I'd never expected to be nominated. I don't expect to win.
Yes.
But you're gonna bring my pin home for me, right?
I will bring your pin home. I will bring your pin home. But I guess what I'm asking is, do you want to try to get back to that stage again? Like you try where you're nominated, or does that matter? Or you?
No, I mean I would be happy to get back on that stage, but I wasn't trying to get there, so
yeah.
I don't see trying as the way to get there.
Fair. I guess let's try this. What I'm trying to say is, you're starting to become more. This definitely will up your recognition, right? So in the creative fields, as a writer more than as a performer. So will you try to explore different things that way, or will you just keep doing what you're doing?
I think I'm going to continue on the path that I'm going down with Laxa Media and with any other opportunities that come my way to get published. I will take. I find those opportunities are generated by my interaction with the When Words Collide family and with the Filk community. I keep getting opportunities, and I take advantage of them. Not as opportunities to get more recognition so much as opportunities to create differently. Mm-hmm. Every one of them allows me to create differently, and that's what lights a fire under me. And if I'm having success, that's the reason.
Yeah.
And that's really where I am in my musical life at the moment. Is I just want to create happily and interact with others who create, and whatever comes of that is what is meant to come of that.
That's a great attitude.
That's where I am. I'm in a much more peaceful place. I'm not grasping.
No.
Because I'm entering a new career and married life, and so I'm very much I'm getting to a place where I'm more settled, and that's going to be very good for me. Yes, you're chuckling at me. I know it's true. I've been very unsettled my entire life, so. Mm-hmm. I'm reaching a place of peace from which to create better.
You sound more comfortable with yourself.
Do I?
Yes.
Excellent. So do you, know?
Oh yeah. No, I know. I know. Me 2 years ago, me now, I'm way more confident than I was 2 years ago. Like, And the thing is, I had a friend of mine I talked to, he's like, what's been the big difference? And he goes, before, you would kind of apologize for being who you are. Right?
Oh, so many of us do that all the time.
Right? I stopped doing that when I fixed the teeth. And it's been a big, big difference. It's funny because I'm leaving, right? So I've been kind of quietly going to everybody that I know I'm not going to be seeing again anytime soon, saying thank you to all of them. That made a big impact on my life. It's been amazing to watch, in some cases, cynicism just die right in front of my eyes, right? Because people like being appreciated. People appreciate being appreciated, and it's not something we do enough for the people around us. We don't, right? And so I decided when Worlds Collide, my mission there was really simple. Every single person that made a positive impact in my life, it didn't matter who it was, I would seek them out, I would thank them. When you see some of the toughest people you know are actually weeping a little bit, I think my favorite reaction. This is one I will say, because the other one she got very she actually submitted I made her cry, but she never went in detail twice. So I'll leave her out of this. But Susan Forrest was actually an amazing reaction. She didn't expect it, and I actually there were actually a couple tears.
Susan Forrest is a wonderful human being.
Yes.
But now I have to tell a story on her.
Go ahead.
Since you brought her up, and since we were talking about the Aurora-nominated poem, which is How My Life Will End. So, the first book that Laxon Media put out was Strangers Among Us, Tales of the Outcasts and Underdogs. I believe I got that right. If I got a word wrong, I apologize. Because that book really changed a lot of things for me. It was an enormous honor to get to be part of the launch party for such an important book. And so I was asked to write a song to commemorate the launch, and that was the beginning of my relationship with Laxon Media. And so since the theme of the book was mental illness, I decided that if I was going to sing with any authenticity, I had to sing about my own mental illness. And so I did, and it was very difficult and very healing for me as well, because I've struggled with suicidality almost my entire life. And so I wrote about that, and then I performed it. I was very afraid performing it for the launch, and the response from the audience was just incredible. There were a lot of tears, and it was overwhelmingly positive. And then Susan, she got up and she said, "Thank you so much for that song, Vanessa. It was to die for." Oh no, wait.
So my thing with her is I got to talk to her in great detail last couple of years. I didn't know her very well, so she came on my podcast, and then the where I went to in Vancouver, I actually got to know her better. Awesome, she's really awesome, but again, she presents she's very reserved when you first meet her.
She's very professional.
Yeah, that too.
Very clean cut and sharp, you know?
Yeah, but you get to know her, right? She's fun. She's fun. Like, she really, really is. And it was one of those things. She's finally getting the chance to do it the way she wants to do it. Her novel's coming out soon, and when this is from Maxa, and it's going to be. I'm really interested to see what she does, because she's helped a lot of people with their work for years, and I'm really curious. I'm hoping she gets the same support in return, because I think she deserves it. And
yeah, I have some involvement with that new series from Susan as well. So her first book, Bursts of Fire, has a song that goes with it, and I was asked to be to create music for this series, and I really wanted to accept, but I also knew that I wasn't in a position to take on a project of that scope and length at this time. You know, this is a 7-year commitment, and I just couldn't do it, but I knew somebody who I thought might be able to, and that's my best friend Sora. She is an incredible songwriter and singer and recording artist, and I've had the honor of working with her for 10 years. And she accepted the project, and I agreed to produce the recordings. So the first song, Bursts of Fire, was produced by yours truly. So I'm in the behind the scenes.
So you're a producer. So one day you'll wear the big rings and you have the big shades and be a mogul behind the scenes. No.
Look at my rings.
I know. I'm talking, but they're not pretentious. I'm talking like the really pretentious ones you see sometimes with and the typical,
Somebody's got to kiss them, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. Those rings I feel are more valuable than that. So I just kind of get the. No one's gonna walk up and kiss him, so maybe your husband. Yeah.
He gave me one of them.
Yeah. Of course. So you're happier. Like you're just and I'm really glad to see that.
Thank you.
Yeah, I'm glad to see that. So she's done one other small thing. She's helped me with one of my series so far. I gotta actually send you. Next year, I'll be sending you the official first book, which if you're gonna like, which you're gonna like because it's gonna feature one of my favorite Greek concepts, which is the labyrinth. Yes, it's gonna feature some other Greek. I'm gonna love playing with some of the Greek myths and. I can't wait to also merge it kind of with our world a little bit as well because it's amazing. One of the things when I've been researching my series has been just how much the Greek influence has never gone away.
No, it's foundational for our whole culture, and it's what I find amazing is how unaware the average person is that Western culture is built on what the Greeks created. Yep. All of it. Not that there isn't more than that, but everything is rooted in Greek civilization.
Absolutely.
So, I'm working on a song about the labyrinth.
Nice.
About Ariadne.
Okay.
And Naxos.
Nice. Nice. Won't be Ariadne for me. Like I said, I won't spoil it on the air. But yeah, it's gonna be. I'm having a lot of fun because the first book is the closest thing to the board game it's going to in the entire series. It's going to definitely have a very snakes and ladders kind of feel to it.
Do you know the origin of snakes and ladders?
I don't.
It originates in India, and it's a metaphor for karma. So the reason why it takes so long to play is that it's designed to represent the cyclical nature of death and rebirth and positive and negative karma on the wheel of reincarnation.
Interesting. So ladders being good karma and the snakes being the bad karma.
Yeah, and it just goes round and round and round. Up and down.
Well, it's interesting because in my board game, the snakes and ladders move. And it goes, right? I'm evil because, again, numerically speaking, 7 is the most common number you can roll on a die.
Uh-huh.
So every time the 7 rolls, the portals move.
Nice.
That's
pretty cool.
Yeah, it's a little bit of chaos. Something I've learned when I do presentations and stuff, you leave a little bit of chaos in anything you do, or something that's just not completely in your control. That's where the magic is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Because that's what keeps you. That's what keeps you on your toes. That's what keeps you creating. Mm-hmm. Is to stay ahead of the chaos.
Yes. So when I do something like my Dr. Seuss, it's complete chaos.
Oh God, I'm so sorry I missed that.
It's okay. I have to go to a louder. I know that one of the organizers wants me to do it Friday nights, just because alcohol would be involved, and that would be a heck of a good time. The other.
Talks and talks.
Yes. It's okay.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir, Mr. Watson.
But the other part of it, but the other thing is, we need to be in a separate room. It got really, really, really loud. And it's really funny because it's fun to watch, because you see these grown adults not sure quite what to do, and then the first one starts to play. And all of a sudden, the next one starts to play, and then everybody's into it, and it gets louder and louder and rowdier and rowdier. I actually think they shut us down early. I can't prove that to be absolutely certain, but I can almost believe that we probably got shut down early. We were having too much fun.
That is amazing.
Yeah. Chaos. You leave a little bit of chaos, and you give people permission to do. It's amazing what happens. It really is. Whenever I do presentations now, I always will keep. I'm always trying to keep that in mind. I don't want. Someone could describe me as an unstructured presence, but I always like having a little less structure. Just to let people fill in that gap. It feels realer. Mm-hmm. Does that make sense?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a teacher, or I was a teacher for a long time, and I hardly ever planned a damn thing.
You just had a direction you were just generally going, and you just let things go?
Yes, because if I planned everything with too much structure, then I wouldn't have the hilarious conversations with little kids about, oh, why does the moon represent childbirth? That doesn't make any sense. Oh, well, think about it, honey. The moon is something that starts out really small, and then you watch it getting bigger and bigger and bigger. Oh! Good times.
Yes. But also as a performer, there's definitely that little bit of chaos too, because you don't know what kind of crowd you're going to get.
Oh, never. Oh, every performance is different, and you're always out on the edge. You're always risking something. Mm-hmm. And that's one reason I like to have new material whenever possible. I like to have something new or something old reimagined in every show that I do, so that I don't get too comfortable.
That's rule 8.
Mm-hmm.
And my 8 rules. Rule 8.
Rule 8.
It's rule 8. Stay uncomfortable.
Uh-huh.
You don't grow unless you give yourself the chance to be uncomfortable. Because it's when you put yourself in those unfamiliar positions, you don't learn anything. You don't evolve. You don't grow. You don't change, and
then you die.
Yes.
You get Alzheimer's and you die.
Or some kind of regression. That's not necessarily Alzheimer's, but some kind of regression, and you go.
Yes. So, you have to keep pushing yourself.
Yep. I will keep pushing myself until I'm 90. Maybe then I'll settle down.
Yeah, what happens at 90?
Then I go to the beach and maybe take up surfing.
Of all the ways to go, that would be a pretty good one.
So I always find in my case, I have too much to do. There's just so much I want to do and accomplish and see, and
me too. It's almost a curse.
Yeah.
You can never do it all.
You don't have to necessarily do it all. I find this is what I can live with. If I do everything to the best of my ability, I try everything I possibly can in the time I have, I can live with it. It's if I stop myself because I'm scared or because I'm afraid to fail or just I stop. Those are the things I regret. Not that I didn't get to it, because there's still things I want to get to. I want to learn how to fly a plane. I want to learn how to drive a motorcycle. I want to learn lots of other things. But I have other priorities in front of me. I want to get my literary / podcasting / whatever this thing I've built. I want to get it to bigger and better places. I want to keep growing and exploring and becoming whatever the case may be. So that's the priority now. But when I get all those things, like, okay, now what? Well, go back to school, learn some new things. Go learn how to drive a motorcycle, play a musical instrument terribly and wonderfully and fantastically, right? And just keep growing, keep doing, and learn how to swear in more languages than I know how to swear now, right? So I found out I could actually swear in Israeli. Maltese swear words and Israeli swear words are actually very similar.
Israeli is not a language. I think you mean Hebrew.
Hebrew, yes.
Yes. Oh yeah, they're both Semitic languages.
Yes,
Hebrew
right.
and
Yeah,
Maltese.
yeah, that's right.
Trivia fact: Maltese is the only Semitic language that uses the Roman alphabet.
That's right.
Yes.
Do you know why?
Yes, I do. I believe I do know why. It has to do with the Maltese Knights, does it not?
Goes back. Okay, so this one's interesting. Malta has been conquered by everybody. So Rome inhabited Malta for hundreds of years. So a lot of the roads and inroads they built, that's Roman, right? So their numerals and stuff stuck around because it's also one of the few, again, when Rome fell, it's one of the few things that kept the Roman culture because they were kind of in their own little isolation. So it's just evolved over the years. The Knights came as a result of the Catholic Church and a few other things. But yeah, no, it's been Roman because it was one of the strongholds. Malta has always been, in any war, in any empire expanding, it's always been sought after simply because if you control Malta, you can strike anywhere in the Mediterranean. It's right in the middle.
Yeah, very important strategically.
Yeah, that's right. So in my bloodline, I've been conquered by everybody, and I mean everybody.
Well, so have I. My family's from Hungary.
Yes.
Right smack dab in the navel of Europe, and everybody's been through there.
Yes. There's a little Mongol in you somewhere.
Yeah, they're in all likelihood, yes.
Yes.
I'm probably related to Genghis Khan. Everybody else is.
Yeah. Well, I'm not. I don't think they actually got. They didn't get to me. They didn't get to me. No, because actually the Middle East stopped them. They couldn't. They everywhere else they were able to take over, but the Middle East they could not.
That's right. Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, Middle East fought like they did, and it was their home turf. That's why they won. So, but anyway, I'm really happy that you're doing well. I'm really happy that you seem a lot more at peace with yourself. That's congratulations. You've hit adult. You've adulted.
Oh God. What am I going to do about that? I wonder.
Well, no, that doesn't necessarily mean you have to be an adult all the time. But as I've gotten older, I've become more comfortable in myself, and I've given far, far less of a shit. And I find it's glorious. Yeah.
I mean, who else has a right to any opinion on how I live? Is what I wonder.
No one.
Nobody. I've learned to be more honest with myself about what I do and do not want.
Good.
Very excited to rock the Blind Beggar Pub tonight.
Yes.
It's going to be really fun. I always love playing there. The sound guy's a big fan of mine. And, it should be good.
Yeah. So we're coming to the end of the interview. I'm going to ask one very hard. I think
you always do this.
Yes.
Okay.
This I think this one. What's the biggest thing you've learned in the last year?
In the last year.
In the last year, because you've been your big year of change. So what's the biggest thing you've learned? If it's a tie, you can say a couple things.
I can't think of a single thing I've learned. It's not about what I've learned. It's about what I've become. I'm becoming somebody different. I barely recognize myself from last year. Now, all right, I'll tell you. Here's the truth bomb. Biggest thing I've learned is how to have one drink, then two drinks, then stop.
That's great.
Yeah, that has been a very hard one skill, and then it's made it possible for me to bloom in many other ways.
That's fantastic. That is what we used to call, that's what my parents called the European way of drinking. You go to a pub, you have a drink or two, that's it. That's all you need, right? That's all you need, right? You don't need to get sloshed. You just need one to take the edge off, one to be social, go home.
Yeah, essentially.
Yeah. Congrats.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, and I have been very happily busy as usual, writing differently, living differently, and I don't even know what else to say.
There's nothing you have to say. As you said so eloquently earlier, you know how you are. No one else can say it. That's good. And I'm glad. So, but this does I am in an awkward spot. I don't know. So normally we talk about what's coming up next for you, but this show will be long gone by the time this airs. So, do you have anything coming out that people should be aware of?
Well, I want you to watch for the album that I'm putting out with Laxa Media.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, that's the main thing. That's very exciting. It's a companion novel. It's a companion album to Laxa Media's Social Causes series that started with Strangers Among Us. So that's very exciting. I don't know exactly when that will be out, but it's in the works. And I would love for you to drop me a line. Those of you who know who I am, who can find me on Facebook, send me a message and I will send you MP3s of what I'm working on, because on a personal note, I don't have release dates, but I am working on stuff and I'm happy to share with anybody who asks.
Okay. So that side, how can people find you?
I am on Facebook as Vanessa Cardui, Vanessa Cardui. If you're getting in your CAR, don't get a DUI. And it's a picture of me in a blue dress with very blonde hair, and that's the way to find me. Now I've never been great at marketing, which is part of why I'm going to become a legal assistant. But you can find me that way.
Okay. Give me a sec here.
And that will do it for my conversation with Vanessa Cardui. Vanessa, you're one of the people I miss the most actually out here. I really I admire you. And for all your talents, you are an incredible human being. I'm happy you're happier. I'm happy you're doing the things you want to do in your life. And I'm proud of you for what it's worth. So, yeah, keep being you, because it's incredible. It really, really is. And that will do it for this episode of Just Joshing, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to support the podcast, you can do so a number of different ways. You can subscribe to the podcast. I'm on iTunes, Google Play, Spotify, Podomatic. You can read my column at firstcomics.com. I do a weekly column where I review something this week. Last week I reviewed Sophie Campbell's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles run. This week I'm reviewing a very fun little graphic novel based on a local talent here named Tuna. And another Canadian talent as well. It was a lot of fun to read it. I can't wait for you guys to do it. My books, The Watcher Storm Dancer, Wandering God, Mirrorworld Publishing. My YouTube channel is Joshua Pentellaresco. Subscribe to it. All my old conversations are there. There are 286 of them there right now, including one of my favorites from last year, Kat Hudson's going up, which is just really, really freaking cool. I had a blast. I can't believe how lucky I am talking to so many amazing people. It's been a lot of fun. Stay inspired. Do your thing. Believe in yourself. And don't let anything get you down. Just see the obstacles for what they are. Opportunities. Alright guys, I'll see you later on this week with Tim Reynolds. Until then, have a good one.
Josh. Shush.